Hey guys, Clumsy here, and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Second episode of Clumsy Airlines with the OnAir Airline Manager. Thank you for all the likes and comments in the first episode. Glad to see that you guys are enjoying. I have been busy. You can look at our cash here. We have now 400,000 because I have been getting used to the hang of things. And I think we have enough money now to actually buy a TBM, which is my favorite plane ever since my X-plane days. So that is the goal for today, to fly a TBM. But I think there is a feature in here called a Checkride, wherein if you are flying a different kind of aircraft, like from piston engine to a turboprop engine, from a single to a multi-engine, you would need to do a check ride for that specific plane type. And for us, jumping from single engine piston to single engine turboprop, that's going to require a check ride. And right now I am in survival difficulty. As you can see here, it says check ride difficulty is real. I'm not really sure what that entails, but we'll see. We'll try it out. I did also hire an employee, and he's been actually earning most of the money here. I'm a good boss. But yeah, but he's flying at the moment. Where is he? There he is. Oh, actually he arrived already. Maybe I should give him a new job. Yeah, we can do that. Let me give him a job so we can continue earning money for us. So I rented out a Cessna Grand Caravan, and then I hired an employee, just one. And because I'm in the Cumulus world, this is the more casual world, it's much easier to earn money here even if you are in survival mode. But anyway, so with this one, so we can say, I think I have some jobs at the moment. Let's see. If you look for the open jobs, I'm not really sure if I should focus also on on-air company so much, or should I focus more on the flying. So you guys let me know there, okay, if you prefer one or the other. I'm happy to oblige either way. I think we do have a job for us. Yeah, this one. So I took it already. I found this. Goods transport, it will earn us 46,000. And it's a 1,200 pound cargo, which the caravan is more than capable of taking. That will take a while. I'm not sure how long it will take. But if we go to the aircraft here and click this button, prepare your flight, I think I boarded the cargo already. Yeah, everything is loaded already, fuel is set. So now all we just need to do is to assign our employee here so he can earn money for us. That's how a real entrepreneur works. Alright, let's plug this in. We are going to, where are we? Romeo Papa Mike Zulu Sierra rather. Zulu is for Z. Romeo Papa Mike Sierra, Surigao Airport. Okay, that looks good. And then in here, the change is we'll be assigning Robert instead, our employee. And then we say launch flight when ready. And give it a couple of hours and he'll earn 40,000 for us. Minus the rental for the aircraft, minus his salary, but all in all, I would assume we would earn around 30,000 still. So easy money. Alright, in the meantime, we are here in Kalibo. Enough babbling around. We are in Kalibo Airport, and I found that there is a TBM in here. If you go to airport sheet, I've been window shopping for aircrafts for sale. Now the TBM here in Kalibo is not for sale, but I think we can rent it out just to get the check ride, and then I'll look for a TBM somewhere nearby and I'll buy that one. It would have been ideal if the TBM would be here for sale, but we work with what we have. So here we filter out for MFS. You see this one. It's a very good, yeah, I'm not sure why it's not for sale. It's owned by the system, but look at that, only 2,000 hours. The condition in the engine, all green, almost full. Very cheap to rent. So what I'll do is I'll rent that out, and then we'll do a check ride for this one. So it is owned by the system, so maybe you guys know, or is that just random? Not everything is for sale, but we can afford that. I saw a 300,000 TBM for sale nearby. I might just buy that later. That is if I pass this. So let's rent it first. Rent for aircraft. Okay, at the end of the lease, the aircraft has to be returned to the current airport with at least the same fuel level. Yeah, that's fine. And then you pay 5,800 just as a sort of deposit, a bond as they call it. That's fine. All right. So let's rent that out and let's do a check ride. Now I think there is a button that should appear. Well, it crashed. So let's load that up again. Maybe didn't like the plan that I was doing. But yeah, I'm really liking OnAir. When my free trial is ending soon, but I think I will extend for like, I don't know, 3 months at least, 6 months if possible. It is helping me a lot with the immersion. Just don't have to think about where I want to fly. Just take wherever the jobs are. Alright, it does say TBM has been rented out. That's good. Let's double check. Let's go to the live map here. First time it crashed on me like that. Okay, there you go. So that guy, our Grand Caravan, is climbing. So he's en route already. There's a TBM 930. That's the check ride. Take a check ride. I guess, is that why it's red? I'm not sure. Or is that the type of aircraft maybe? Anyway, that's the button. Take a check ride. And let's see how this goes. I'll probably need to jump into the cockpit soon. Yeah, indeed. Okay. So everything looks good there. So I'll see you guys in the cockpit. Catch you in a bit. Alright guys, welcome to Kalibo Airport. We are now inside the TBM. Let's see how this goes. Everything is green now, so we should be able to start our check ride. In the meantime, oh, there we go. So what should I be doing? I guess they'll give us instructions. Couple of texture overlapping bugs here. Let's ignore that. So what do? Do I just start the plane? If I can click that properly. There you go. So start it up. Cold and dark. Strobes are on in the beginning.
Please start the engine.
Okay, there you go. Fuel imbalance. Well, that's not very healthy. That might be a bit tricky.
Pause system test. Okay.
Should we have maybe... Let's abort that, guys.
Flight aborted by user.
Hopefully that did not incur any penalty. Because what I am thinking, before we do anything like that, I guess it would be ideal if we first balance that out. Something like that, right? So by the time we synchronize it, then it will be good, right? So let's take a check ride. One thing I also learned is when in regards to payload, they actually cannot set the weight. They can only set the fuel on air. So when you're hauling something heavy, when you're hauling passengers or cargo, you would need to manually change the weight inside the sim. So that's one limitation. But yeah, we can do that moving forward. Right. So that, hopefully this time it works. There we go. I think the weight there has been balanced. Alright, now that looks good. Left and right tanks both have the same fuel level. Good. Right, so they'll ask us to start the engine. Let's do just that. Aux boost pump is on. Let's double check the stats here. Voltage. Everything looks good. Let's do this properly because this is a check ride. Let's go ahead and start the timer. Is it starting? It is. So turn on the starter. Should be by 30 seconds we have 30% NG. Right. Low idle once we reach 13% NG. So here what we're looking for is NG should be 30% by 30 seconds. ITT should not go beyond around 840 degrees if I remember correctly. That looks good. And then we should be at 50% NG 52 by 60 seconds. Right, that's a good start. Awesome. And then go to flight idle. And from there, turn on the inertial separator, turn on the bleeds, nav lights, and in here, aux boost pump to auto, fuel selector to auto, AP and trim to on. Let's arm the pilot oxygen to be on the safe side.
Oral warning.
Acknowledge the warnings. Alright, that looks good. What did they say? Of course, I missed it. I think they mentioned something about the taxiing to the runway. By the way, we are flying in patch 2 already. There are some nice updates with the TBM. I think this is the only plane that is not completely broken in the new patch, which is sad, but yeah, you can fly this properly. So you see here, the mic can actually change which comm frequency has the mic on. So if you're interacting with ATC, and then you can also say monitoring 1 or 2, so that means you can enable radios 1 and 2 for listening, and that's going to be perfect when listening to the ATIS, like keeping COM 1 with ATC and tuning COM 2 to ATIS and then turning on the monitor here so you can hear both frequencies at the same time. That's a nice little update. That was not part of the changelog, but that is very well appreciated. Turn on the taxi lights. Looking good here. Sure not to hit anybody. So because there's that guy there on the right, I guess it would be best if we... Oh, there's also one guy on the left. Stay away from these guys. Don't look. Nobody move. Okay, here we go. Now which runway will we be departing? How is the wind like? So let's turn on the wind settings in here. PFD. Settings, wind, option 3. There we go. So the winds are 8 at 3 knots, so runway would be better. Runway 05, I believe that is. Alright, so what is this guy doing? Taxi to the runway and take off. Okay. Alright. So let's assume that we got clearance there. Maybe I should be coordinating with ATC, huh? Just to really simulate this. Let's jump straight to tower. And let's say taxi, depart straight out.
Kalibo ground TBM 1 Charlie Lima, request taxi for takeoff departing straight out.
Press B so we get the local altimeter.
And hold short of runway 5 via taxiway. Contact tower on ONA 24.2 when ready.
124.2.
Taxi
We are actually there
short
already.
Runway 5 via taxiway TBM 1 Charlie Lima.
Okay.
Kalibo Tower TBM 1 Charlie Lima at runway 5 ready for takeoff departing straight out.
TBM 1 Charlie Lima cleared for takeoff runway 5 straight out, departure approved.
Cleared for takeoff.
runway 5 TBM 1 Charlie Lima.
Okay, let's back taxi. The built-in ATC doesn't have that back taxi feature. They just tell you you're cleared for takeoff, even though in reality they should be giving you back taxi instructions. In Pilot to ATC, that third-party app that I'm using, that is supported. So right now, I'm still liking Pilot to ATC more. It's just that this one is less hassle because it's part of the sim, and of course, it's free. Heaters are on, flaps are up, strobes are on, everything looks good. Landing lights, did I turn that on? Yes, I did. Okay. Right, let's just taxi here, stay in the middle. Winds are favoring runway 5. So let's adjust the heading bug to 050. I honestly am not sure what to expect with this check ride. I think I saw a video. I think that was by Kiwi Maze. Kiwi Maze is one of the experts in OnAir, and he recently got an RTX 3080. My goodness, lucky guy. And I think I saw he made a video of Checkride. He made it an easy Checkride, but I didn't really get to watch the entire video. But I just know that we will be given some instructions to follow. No idea how complex or how simple that is, but we will see. We'll fumble around together, guys. Hang tight. Right, reaching the end of the runway here. There is no U-turn slot or anything along those lines, so we'll have to just try to keep it in the runway. Try not to go outside. But looks like no one is here anyway, so shouldn't be a big deal. Last checks, everything looks good. Not missing anything. Flaps are set for takeoff. Trims are... What is that? No, I just bumped the AP button. Oh yes, that's what I wanted to mention. You can check out the mods list link in the video description. I'm trying out a relatively new mod. It's called the TBM 930 Fixes. Link is in the video description for the mods list. And the mods list should have a link to that specific mod. But it improves the TBM 930 handling, especially the turboprop logic with regard to torque and that kind of stuff. I'll go through it later in more detail if I get the chance. Right, here we are lined up, setting up torque, throttle up, torque to around 50%. Ideally, the prop should go to 2000 RPM here, but that's not properly modeled in. That's fine. And now we release the brakes and set takeoff power. Now, because this is a turbo prop, we cannot just go max on the throttle. We have to keep it very stable, otherwise we risk over torquing the engine. 90 knots rotation speed, not the best takeoff. Bit crosswindy there.
Fly runway heading, continue to climb.
Okay, runway heading, continue to climb, that's fine. Positive rate, tap the brakes, gear up. Hold your hand in there so that you don't forget to focus and check.
Heading 250, climb to 6,000 feet.
Alright, landing gears are up. Turn right, 250. 6,000 feet. You can use the autopilot here, I think. There is no penalty for doing so. But it's just much more immersive doing this manually, isn't it? Right. Turn right to 250, climb 6,000 feet. Keep that turn in.
TBM 1 Charlie Lima, you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Roger.
Kalibo Tower TBM 1 Charlie Lima frequency change.
What did they say the heading was? 230, 250, my goodness, let's see. 250, thank goodness you can review the instructions here. Okay. Alright, 250. 250 heading, climbing 6,000 feet. Looking good. We are entering some clouds here, so I'll leave the inertial separator on. And let's maintain 250 on the heading. Flaps are up. Yaw damper should go on as well, even though I think in this sim it doesn't really do anything at the moment. Now, one huge watch out that they have if you guys are planning on doing the same Checkride in OnAir, make sure you are in an airport that is level. The vicinity should be level, because if it's mountainous, you can risk smashing into a mountain. The instructor doing the Checkride doesn't really see the mountains, so that can be a bit dangerous for everybody involved. Right, climbing very fast here. Let me just slow it down, pull back on the throttle a bit, because there is 6,000.
6,000 feet and heading 250.
Will do. There you go. And let's hand fly everything just so we really feel the aircraft. Looking good. 6,000 feet, there it is. Trimming. There we go. That looks beautiful. Close enough.
Turn left, heading 130. Descend to 4,500 feet.
Alright, 4,500 feet. 130 on the heading. Turning left. 130 on the heading. Should be pretty straightforward here. Yeah. I think this area is flat enough, thankfully. The hardest thing for me right now is remembering the instructions. I think it's 150, right? So 150 on the heading, there you go. Continuing our descent to 4,500. Did not really specify at which rate they want, so just get there. And that should be good. We can, I guess, speed up our descent a bit, although we are getting close there. Oh crap.
Maintain 4,500. Now, maintain 4,500 feet and heading 130.
There we go, 130. My bad. 130. 4,500. Is that close enough? You guys good with that? Let's push in some throttle again. Get some power in so we can climb.
Turn right, heading 150. Descend to 4,000 feet.
There we go, okay. 150, 4,000 feet. Try to remember this one. 150, that's quick. That's this one already. Let's adjust here. 150. 4,000 feet is coming up. And this is making me nervous. I thought my days with exams are done.
Now, maintain 4,000 feet and heading 150.
Roger that. There's 4,000 feet. Let's level off here. Actually, that's not 140, is it?
Please, go to heading 150. Maintain 4,000 feet.
Please don't get mad. I'll get there soon. 150. There it is. 4,000 feet. There it is. Okay. Happy? Trim it up. Yeah, hand flying this thing the entire way can get a bit tiring. Normally you would turn on autopilot a few seconds after you take off. But it's
Turn
good.
right, heading 180. Climb to 7,000 feet.
Oh, he's not done giving instructions yet. Okay. Right, let's climb. .180 on the heading. There you go. Let's fix that. Oh my goodness, I forgot the instruction again. 7,000 feet, I think. I should really adjust that like so. 180 and 7,000. Alright. Actually, I can go autopilot on this one, because that would also showcase your skill in using the autopilot, which is more practical. So either way, it's actually quite realistic. So if I go flight level change here, I go heading mode here, current heading, autopilot. There you go. That would climb to 180 and 7,000 feet. Yeah, because using the autopilot is a different skill all in itself. You could be the best pilot hand flying, but using the autopilot is a completely different skill and something that I believe you also need to have in very much abundance of. Now we are climbing very slowly here.
Maintain 7,000 feet and heading 180.
Well, that's easy with autopilot. That's the easiest thing. Maybe I should have increased the volume. I can hardly hear him. Okay, but that's good that they have a little bit of room for error. Is that okay? Yes. I do want to track Kalibo
Now, return and land at your
VOR.
departure airport with an appropriate IFR or VFR approach.
Wow, okay. Alright. So let's tune Kalibo Airport. Let's request a
Kalibo
full
Tower
stop
TBM 1
landing.
Charlie Lima 17 miles south to land.
TBM 1 Charlie Lima, Kalibo Tower. Enter left base runway 5. Altimeter 29er decimal 81 wind 087 at 1 tree.
2981.
Enter left base runway 5 TBM 1 Charlie Lima.
Left base runway 5. Okay. Not so sure that is the best approach, but okay. Let's follow that. Where are we with regard to the airport? That is us. Runway 5 is there. Left base is this way. So he is telling us to... Our right base would have been easier for us, but I guess it's following a left traffic pattern. So okay, let's do that. We can also tune in the Kalibo VOR 124.2 for additional guidance. Let's simulate that. After all, this is a Checkride. Can you click that? 113.0, my bad. 113.0. PFD settings, bearing 1. There is Kalibo. That arrow right there. Okay. And if we set the course to 050, then we should be getting lined up properly, or less, on runway 05. So that would give us a proper visual guidance. Oh, someone's flying next to me. Let's try and find where they are. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? Beautiful thumbnail shot right there. But I think I have more things to worry about. Alright. Do we see the airport somewhere? Left base. Maybe it's time we descend. You know what? Let me go and do a hand flying thing here. I think that's more fun. Turn off the flight director. Should be good. That VOR guidance in the middle of the PFD should be good enough guide for us. Airport should be somewhere there. There's the light. That looks nice. I'm hoping that if we get close enough to the airport, tower will just clear us to land so we don't have to enter left base. We'll see how that goes. Now for this plane, you can go one notch of flaps to take off. Takeoff flaps 178 knots and below. So we are actually in a speed, a safe speed, where I can deploy flaps. So that should be good. If I ever need to slow down, that is one option I can do. And the same goes for the landing gear. So it's below 178 knots, I can extend the landing gear safely. Now I do want to see, yeah, I'm using the TBM 930 fixes mod. As I mentioned, mod this in the video description for more details. It is very promising because remember that turboprop problem that I was highlighting before, where the higher you go in terms of altitude, in real life, the less your torque should be. So you should be able to push forward the throttle more the higher you climb. In the default sim, that's the inverse. So you have to pull back on the throttle as you climb, which is very unrealistic behavior for turboprops. Someone actually went through the files and discovered how to make the proper behavior in there. And that's what I have in now. I haven't been able to test it fully yet, but I'm hoping we can do a proper full flight after I do this check ride and after I buy my own TBM. We can do proper full IFR flights and we can test that in more detail. As part of those TBM 930 fixes, it's also including the landing gear drag. So now when we extend our landing gear, we should slow down much more significantly. Because before, you barely slow down. You slow down a bit, but not enough, as in how it should be based on feedback from different experts, let's say. So the TBM fixes that I implemented, thanks to that link, focus on those two things. It's the right airport, yes, it is. I just need to enter left base, which is somewhere here. That means entering left base.
TBM 1 Charlie Lima cleared to land
Thank
runway
you.
5.
Oh, thank you for that.
087 at 14.
Alright, 087 at 14. It is a bit crosswindy.
Cleared to land runway 5 TBM 1 Charlie Lima.
Setting flaps for takeoff. Lowering the landing gear. That should slow us down significantly. Lining up, there's the runway in front of us. Everything looks good. Giphy for the checklist. Gear is extended. Inertial separator is on. Flaps are not yet full. And yaw damper is off. So flaps is what I'm missing. Crap. Okay. Might have to go around here. But if I can slow down enough, I might be able to catch it. There you go. So pitch up so that we slow down now that we are in 122 knots. Flaps to landing. We are very high here, but I might be able to do a forward slip, so rudder full to the right and then deflect that using left aileron so that we are still headed the same track as the runway, but we are like facing to the side, and that's going to introduce a lot of drag, allowing us to descend much faster without increasing the airspeed so much. There you go. That's looking good. Alright, so let's maintain an approach speed of 85 knots here. I am going below it a bit. I am a bit low, I think. So we'll have to adjust that. Catch up to it a bit. There are no PAPI lights here, so I'm doing everything just eyeballing it. But more or less this should be okay, I think. We can make it work. Now the winds are pretty crosswindy. We'll have to do a side slip here as we get closer, right before the wheels touch the runway. You can see we are facing to the right here, but we are tracking the runway heading, which is 050. Alright, 85 knots, looking good. That should be okay. We have plenty of runway. We don't really need to land on the touchdown zone exactly. Applying left rudder, right aileron, and cutting out the throttle, and now we just let the plane land itself like so.
Landing time.
Perfect.
Landed at Romeo Papa Victor Kilo. Kalibo.
Awesome stuff.
Taxi to your parking and shut down the engine.
Is that an Air Asia Airbus I see in front of me? That might be a player actually. Because normally the AI has those predefined fake liveries, but I do have a livery of the A320. That might be a real player. That's cool. Right, we'll exit the runway here on the left. Next left. Should be okay to flaps up. Turn off the heaters here. after we turn off the runway here, we can turn off the landing lights and everything else should follow. Alright, here we are. Looking good. Looks
TBM 1
like,
Charlie Lima exit runway when able.
yeah, here we are.
TBM 1 Charlie Lima contact ground on ONE 24.2.
What now, brown cow?
When you have reached your parking, shut down the engine.
Going to 124.2 TBM 1 Charlie Lima.
We are in 124.2. That's my parking, but the van is blocking me.
Kalibo ground TBM 1 Charlie Lima request taxi to parking.
I'll have to do some evasive maneuvers here,
TBM
guys.
1 Charlie Lima taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway.
He's reversing, actually. Interesting logic. Avoid that bonanza, please.
Taxiing to general aviation parking
Okay.
via taxiway TBM 1 Charlie Lima.
He made a U-turn instead. That's good. Alright, so here's where we're parking. Let's follow the directions from this guy. Thank goodness I was able to do the Checkride and a TBM. This is the only plane I'm familiar with. Slow down. Whoa, there you go. That's okay. A bit sudden, but that's okay. I think those guys went a bit nervous there. How fast we were
When you have
approaching.
reached your parking, shut down the engine.
Will do. Just give me some time. Alright, leave that to flight idle for a couple of seconds. Turn off the stuff here. Alright. Move to low idle. Leave that for a couple of seconds. I'm not familiar. I can't memorize how many seconds you have to leave those, but in reality. But just roleplay this. Then cut it off. This is also one of the updates that they did in patch number 2. The spooling down of the engine, the turboprop slowing down, is much more
Engine
gradual
time
now.
logged. End of flight. Registered in OnAir company.
You passed your
you.
practical
You
exam.
passed your practical exam.
Nice.
3 out of 3 exercises succeeded.
Awesome. I like. Alright. Can I just do that? Oh, it actually even ends the flight itself now. Awesome. I like that. Let's go back to the main menu. And while that's loading up, let's go back to the on-air screen here. Man, I like that flight. Right, we got all the bonuses: comfort, safety, aircraft handling. Everything looks good. No XP itself, but that's okay. So now what I can do is I can actually... what can I do? I can probably give this back. Is it possible? If I go to aircraft in here, I can say this rented TBM, stop the rent. Why am I going to pay 224? Fuel missing penalty expected 64.2, real 53.1. Okay, there's a penalty if you don't refuel it properly, so let's do that. They were expecting 64 gallons if I remember correctly. So let's do that. 64, like that should be okay. Let's make it 60. I guess that should be okay. Confirm. That should fuel up. So we see an icon. Okay, that might be good already. Right. Does that work? There you go. Going to be 2060. Okay. So I think that's the minimum payment that we can do. That's fine. We can actually utilize that more. But I don't want to because I saw that if you go to search, generate aircraft, choose list, single engine turboprop. Let's go to my hangar here so I can have a nice background. And pick here Romeo Papa. Where are we right now, guys? I am brain fart. VK, Victor Kilo, right? That's why I'm doing the wrong thing. So TBM, and then this one, the Asobo version, and then I say Romeo Papa Victor Kilo. So near Kalibo, I should be able to find something in Romeo Papa Alpha Lima, this one. Pamalican Airstrip. It is quite expensive, 327, but comparing with all the other planes here, it actually looks pretty good. In terms of less number of hours, in terms of condition, so it might be actually worth it. So what I'll do is I'll buy that and I will go there, and for the next episode we'll fly it, because now I should be certified to fly a turboprop single engine. Sold. Now there we go, beautiful. Doesn't have any fuel though. Now what I did not check is if in this airport they actually sell jet fuel, because if they don't, I have to bring some in. That might be tricky. Yeah, they do have. Okay, good. 4.31 per gallon. Okay, good. So we can easily just refuel that, something like this. Refuel it like so. Yeah, just put it like that for now. Alright, so next episode I can either fly this myself, because we are there and it's like 100 miles to the west. There's like a small island. They had an airstrip there, pretty cool looking. Let's see if I can record that as well. So we can fly there using the Cessna 172 maybe, or I just fly there. How do I go to that airport on my own? I'm not so sure, but it should be possible to like take a commercial flight going there. Anyway, so let's leave it there for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Wow, it went a lot longer than I was expecting. Thank you for watching though. I enjoyed that check ride. Catch you in the next episode. Have a good one. Clumsy flying and bye-bye.